In 2008, a 4chan user took one of the most fateful dumps in all of human history. A poop so hard that water splashed back onto his butt cheeks. And that splashback upset him so much that he felt compelled to draw a comic and post it, establishing a format that would not just become a popular medium to tell jokes, but also to relay stories from people's everyday lives. Of course, I'm talking about rage comics. Imagine now, if this sudden burst of creativity from a person halfway across the world who just happened to pinch off too fat of a loaf one day had set off a sequence of events that would eventually lead to your life being saved. An unlikely story for sure, but for a friend of one Redditor, a true story. A story with ramifications that will forever affect the rest of his life. For today's episode of Tales from the Internet, we're talking about the man whose cancer was diagnosed by a rage comic. This video is sponsored by Bright Cellars. I like wine, but I don't know a whole lot about picking out good wines. So Bright Cellars does it for me. You just answer their quiz with questions about your taste preferences and it matches you with the wines best suited to you. And their customer service is really on the ball, so if you don't like any of the wines that Bright Cellars picks out for you, you can get a free replacement bottle in your next shipment. So there's no more wasting money on wines you wind up not liking. Then after you have your wines, you can rate them, and they use those ratings to determine even better wines for you in your next batch. This time, I got Aquaforte, The Last Room, Tetrachroma, I killed this one already, Mise en Abîme, Meet Cute, and Watchkeeper. I'm gonna pour out a glass of this one because it looks like an 80s prog rock cover. Dump it into my Necronomicon cup over here. Tastes like 7/8 timing. And each wine comes with education cards to tell you a little bit about the wines and also suggestions for what's good to pair with them. Right now, Bright Cellars is giving my viewers 50% off their first 6-bottle box, plus a bonus bottle. That's 7 bottles in total. Just follow my link below and take the quiz to get started. Rage comics are a format that I think the general consensus for a long time was that they had overstayed their welcome by several years. I remember a period in time when I would just see the words "les me" and would make a vein in my forehead pulsate. Yeah, just like that. For some reason, and it feels silly now, but for some reason back then it just infuriated me how this format that started off as a simple way to tell simple jokes turned into this long, drawn-out, pretty boring storytelling format where people are basically just telling you what happened in their day, like it was some kind of, a visual diary entry. Like at that point, just tell me what happened, no need to have a bunch of faces next to it. I don't care that a tracing of Yao Ming thought your day was funny. More than a decade removed from it though, it's not so bad. It almost feels like a museum piece. A similar emotion to staring at a badly tiled GeoCities background. Just a mere artifact of our shared online past. But in any case, for the friend of one Reddit user, I have a feeling that rage comics would never feel cringe to them ever again. At least not after this happened. It begins with a post by Cap'n Poop Deck on November 3rd, 2012 in Reddit's Rage subreddit, or F7U12, retelling a story that happened to her friend in rage comic form. Just mail me going through the medicine cabinet when suddenly I find an unused pregnancy test my ex-GF must have left. For shits and giggles, I use it. A little later, I'm pregnant. Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger over here. I mean, pregnancy tests, they're made to pee on, so why let it go to waste? Probably just something wrong with it, right? Who knows how long it's been sitting there? Well, the commenters had some other ideas. The top voted response by Godzilla. If this is true, you should check yourself for testicular cancer. Seriously, Google it. This theory was co-signed by several other commenters, including one claiming to be a medical student. Why would testicular cancer show up on a pregnancy test? And it's not like your balls are pregnant with the cancer. Well, here's how these home pregnancy tests work. They detect a hormone called human chorionic gonadotropin, or HCG. If you have a baby growing inside of you, this hormone shows up in your urine. However, there are a small amount of other things that could cause this hormone to show up in your urine, including certain types of testicular cancer. However, that's not the only reason it might show up. And some of those possibilities were also brought up in this thread. For example, steroid usage. Was Cap'n Poop Deck's friend on that there cell tech? You see, since steroids can shrink your balls, sometimes ACG can be supplemented to help keep them nice and plump. And there's also the possibility that it's worse than testicular cancer. Apparently, this can also be caused by certain types of brain tumors. And I guess that's just how it goes when diagnosing medical stuff online. All roads lead to brain tumors. Alternatively, maybe he just used it wrong. One poster mentioned that a pregnancy test will read positive if you let it sit too long, although another poster responded this line is different from the one that shows up when you test positive for pregnancy. And this is an occurrence that's been the source of a lot of stress for a lot of women. In any case, Captain Poop Deck would return later after reading these responses. Whoa, just saw all the cancer comments. It was my friend that did the test. I just made the comic for him, but I am letting him know to test himself for cancer immediately. Thank you for letting me know, guys. We may have dodged a bullet here. Keep us posted. I just got off the phone with him. He's going to check himself, then go and see a doctor on Monday to be absolutely sure. Kinda weird people may have or have not discovered cancer through a Rage comic. Monday came and people are bracing for an update, and Poop Deck shows up as promised. Update for everyone, my friend's appointment to get checked will be at 3, and I will be home at a computer at about 5:30. I have my friend's permission to post the result as long as I do not use his name. This is when I will post the results. The results will either be put in a self-post, or I will put a URL to another F7U12 in the comments. Please tell me what you want, and I will do so accordingly. Update. Attention everyone, results are here. Thank you for everything, Reddit. So the results were in, given in the form of another Rage comic. Hello, Reddit. Many of you read the comic about my friend using a preg test as a joke and it testing positive, which is a sign of cancer, as all of you told us. Today, he went to the doctor to be tested. And in his right testicle they found a very small tumor. But since it was caught early, it could be treated immediately. To be honest with everyone, I assumed it was nothing, considering a pregnancy test finding cancer seemed a bit odd. But I guess there is a hormone the test picks up that the tumor produces, and that is why the test said he was pregnant. I'm not sure what face to use. I'm sad he might lose a nut, while I'm also amazed a preg test picked up a fucking tumor and happy it was caught early all at the same time. So both of us want to say thank you. And in all seriousness, if you are male, check yourself for testicular cancer regularly. If you're a girl, test yourself for breast cancer regularly. For directions on how to check yourself, please go look online or go to cancerresearchuk.org. Thank you again, Reddit. Namaste. All seriousness aside, this comic honestly is such a perfect look at the problem people are having with Rage comics at this time. Like, you didn't need the faces there. You could have just said this. You could have just wrote it. Granted, in this context, it makes sense because it started as a Rage comic thing on the Rage comic forum, but there are so many like this that didn't have that context. But I digress because that's kind of besides the point. We've got not necessarily a happy ending. I mean, ideally there's no cancer, but testicular cancer is super treatable when caught, and thankfully it got caught because of this thread. A bunch of news outlets pick up the story, and Reddit celebrates a little, and you would think this would be the end of the story, but something raised my eyebrow when I was looking at this thread for this video. I found it kind of strange that Captain Poop Deck's account was deleted, but I mean 9 years had passed. People delete accounts for all kinds of reasons. You know, maybe she just got tired or nuked it for a job or who knows what. But then I realized looking through the archive that the account had gotten deleted really quickly after this post. So something was telling me that shit got weird, so I looked back through her thread and oh yeah, shit got weird. At first she's mostly just expressing that she's concerned for her friend who is understandably scared about this diagnosis. No matter how treatable it is, it's scary. He's worried that he's gonna lose a ball and girls won't like him anymore and he'll never get laid again. Which, I mean, if anything, you know, having one ball, that's just an excuse to get people to look at your fucking balls. But I mean, she starts to think that she doesn't want to get so much attention to this post, and she tells people, hey, you know, stop spreading this post around, you know, don't upvote it anymore or anything, but it's too late. It's already on the front page. And more news outlets are covering this, which also became a problem. Edit, I've been being nice about this, but can all the reporters back the fuck off? I'm trying my best to be there for my friend to keep him out of the blues, but it's difficult with dozens of goddamn reporters demanding we talk about it. We've spoken to enough, there are enough stories about it, it is so stressful to talk to reporters about this every day. He's already stressed about the cancer itself as it is, and the reporters asking him questions about it just adds tremendously to it. And we just want to be left in peace so we can get him through this smoothly and as stresslessly as possible. So please, reporters, back off. And then you've got the next obvious step of any big story on Reddit that happens, everyone suddenly thinks it's fake. So they start demanding her prove that her friend has cancer, to which she responds, "How the fuck do I prove he has cancer? I can't send his name out in the comments, and it's not like a picture of his sack will show anything." I mean, with a lot of these cases, you really can't prove it without doxing a person who doesn't want to be doxed. She could post something hiding the info, but then people would just say that that was fake. And after she already got the news from how she approached him about giving her something else to show to Reddit. "Hey dude, I know you're worried about your cancer diagnosis, but could you take a moment to send me your paperwork? Yeah, I know, some people on Reddit don't believe you have cancer, so, you know, the people aren't satisfied. They gotta know that the heartwarming, feel-good story about online happenstance is a real story. And they didn't feel good for fake reasons. If you make me feel fake good, there'll be hell to pay." Already got 6 private messages with people telling me I'm a liar about my friend, when I'm not lying. It takes a fucked up attention whore to lie about this. And I don't want people to think I'm one of those kinds of people. Honestly, I kind of want to delete this whole thread altogether. I'm not enjoying getting yelled at. I've had a shitty enough day with him getting checked and all. Frowny face. She asked the Reddit mods if they could remove the karma from her account so people know that this isn't all about fake internet points to her, but they can't because that's not how the website works. And there were plenty of support and people telling her that she's kind of getting a little too invested in meaningless Reddit culture stuff. And ultimately she should keep the thread up because ultimately it's good for the thread to be around so people can think, oh, testicular cancer, that's a real thing, maybe I should get checked out. So she got a few back and forth posts with people telling her not to take the Reddit stuff too seriously and she did a good thing, but ultimately, shortly after all this, it appears that that's when she deletes her whole account. Only on Reddit can a silly meme in a dead format go on to become a life-saving cancer diagnosis, then go on to being an outrage controversy that causes someone to delete their whole fucking account. But in any case, I think it's safe to say that this is the only time in all of recorded human history that a rage comic will be the solution to, rather than the cause of cancer. Anyway, that's all for now. If you like this video, check out my video about the disastrous Woody Harrelson AMA about Rampart. I'm out.